Hi everyone, I'm Christian. I'm here with the Tanooki and here with mear Noone, conductor for The Legend of Zelda, Symphony of the Goddesses, Second Quest. So it's great to see you again.
You too, Christian. It's great to see the Tanooki again.
Now we're here to talk about the Second Quest. What is it, and what new challenges does that mean for you as a conductor?
Well, it is some of the pieces that we felt were not missing, but that we wanted to get to. We wanted to, what we would love is a concert of 4 hours long. So instead we have a second quest. And some of these pieces have been requested by fans, some of them are requested by us, and Chad Seiter has done a great job again on the arrangements. Challenges, it's exciting for me because having new music is great. The music just doesn't get old. The arrangements are interesting and exciting enough to keep myself, and this being our 50th performance, creatively and intellectually engaged all the time. So this is exciting for me. New music is always exciting. I love it, love the orchestra, and I think the fans are going to really love it too.
I think we will. Now talk about the Wind Waker, specifically the baton that you're now known to be using during a portion of the concert.
Well, the Wind Waker that I use was lovingly made for me by a fan she's actually also a composer, and she showed up to a conducting masterclass that I gave here in LA with a handmade box, the crest of Hyrule on the front. Here it is. Actually,
oh, wow.
It's getting a little worn. I have to get her to fix it for me. And when it opened, now it makes one beep now, but we had ba-da-da-da initially.
Oh, wow.
So this is the Wind Waker, and it's really special. I mean, I was going to keep beeping. It's really special to me, and it was really made with love by a true fan, and a true fan of music. And I was just saying to you before we started recording that there seems to be a real link, pardon the pun, between music students and musicians and Legend of Zelda. So that makes total sense to me because of the magical musical component in the games. Especially, as I always say in the show, the fact that the Wind Waker is a musical baton. I mean, that to me is kill me now, you know. That's as close to my heart as you can get. So my friend that made this, thank you, love, you're just wonderful. So there you go.
Excellent. Now, I'm told you like to use Leonard Bernstein's works as a mental exercise for things like mixed meter and rhythmic passages. Can you tell me anything else of your process in preparing specifically for Symphony of the Goddesses?
I have lots of little tricks I do, and I've certain exercises that I was taught by the protege of Igor Markevich, one of my two favorite conductors. My two favorite are Wilhelm Furtwängler, who was the music director of the Berlin Philharmonic in the 40s, and Igor Markevich. Markevich worked with a very famous physiotherapist called Moshe Feldenkrais, and created special exercises for conductors that he handed down to his students, and then his student handed down to me. So it's very special. But all of that is wonderful and marvelous. But my real process on top of that is I always listen to AC/DC Back in Black before I go out on stage, because it's silly and wonderful and great and rocks and just puts me in the right mood for the overture for some reason, and it settles my rhythm. I get my rhythm in place. We call it the tactus, is pulse, and that is your physical, the pulse in your heart, and when you're in tune with that, then your rhythm's going to be right on. And for some reason, the opening of Back in Black puts me right there. So it works. Whatever works.
All right. Now, last time we sat down, we actually talked about how Symphony of the Goddesses is helping to spur the young youth interest in the fine arts. Now let's talk about expanding the demographic in the other direction. Now, many of us know of musicians who don't consider game music or any largely commercialized music to be high art,
Right.
and many shrug at or outright refuse to embrace, The Legend of Zelda: Symphony of the Goddesses. What would you say to them, or how would you encourage them to give the show a chance?
Well, I'll tell you the way I think of it first, which is I think of it as pop art in the coolest possible sense. And I mean in the Andy Warhol pop art kind of sense. I think it's incredible the way it speaks to this, I mean not a generation, but several generations. And always this is what happens when we come in to an orchestra that would be, say, more conservative. They don't know what to expect. They expect something that's very simplistic on one level, and then we come in with what is essentially a symphony. And the arrangements are complex. They're difficult to play, but in the best sense. They're idiomatic. Musicians love when something is difficult, where they get to really show their skill, but it's idiomatic. It's not awkward. And so we always have this situation where the beginning of the rehearsal there's lots of huffing and puffing, and then people kind of go, oh, and you see that, looking at the parts a little closer, and then by the break we have a different scenario, and then people kind of allow themselves to enjoy it because it's really fun to play. It's really engaging. You've got to be focused. You can't take your eye off the part. And once people realize it's okay to like this music, it doesn't. You're not being disloyal to Mozart and Brahms by really liking something else that is deserving. It is deserving. It's got its place, and it is. For me, it's high pop art.
Now, we also talked last time about your abilities on the flute. Now, is there any chance, and other instruments as well, obviously, is there any chance that we'll get to see you perform at any time in the future? Maybe a chamber piece with all the other production team?
That's a really good idea. I
There you
never
go.
thought of that. I'll have to talk to Chad about that. See if he can arrange me a big flute concerto based on Legend of Zelda. that would be great.
I love that. I'd love to see all you guys just perform.
I'll
together.
blame you for that idea.
All right. Now, someone suggested I ask you about The Thing. Would you care to talk about
Who
that?
told you about this thing?
Someone we both know.
So, I teach a class for Columbia College Chicago on conducting for film and conducting to picture, and I always the students come in from Chicago and they take residence in one of the studios here in town, one of the film studios, and so I give them a little spiel on LA speak, because there are certain phrases that, for me coming from Europe, I noticed there's all these phrases that LA people say. One of them is when they don't want to help you out, they'll say, well, I don't know what to tell you. It means it's your problem, so glad it's not mine. So move on. But another one is people always say, well, here's the thing. And you're going to get some big statement right after. But for me, and it tends to be something serious. So for me, every time I heard, well, here's the thing, I always pictured one of those huge Muppets, the big fluffy ones, the big huge tall ones that are full of, that have things coming out of their heads, and they're they don't have a name, but they're kind of the thing. So every time somebody seriously says to me, well, here's the thing, I always think of this big guy in the corner. So I would show up to class and there would be drawings on the board of the thing, whatever it had been imagined as that day. So then for when it came to the recording session, I had to go and I believe I was doing Zelda in London, and so the class bought me the thing to take with me. So I brought the thing. I brought the thing to a few recording sessions. He's kind of all screwed up looking. He's one eye bigger than the other, and he's got these big antennae coming out of his head. And so anytime somebody says, here's the thing, I just kind of go. So the thing has been to some serious Blizzard recordings as well, I'll tell you that. Yeah, the thing has gotten around.
It's like a good luck charm then, basically.
He is, yeah. He's it's, well, here's the thing, and he's here.
Alright, now you've got some creative fans out there. You've recently gotten a Zelda-themed iPad case, and also a fan from Mexico created actually a beautiful piece of art for you.
Oh, Fairy Gonzalez.
So, yes.
Oh, she is. I actually took this piece and we had it silk printed about 5.5 feet tall.
Wow.
And I have it up over our front door because it's such a beautiful piece of art. And here inside these swirls she has themes, actual musical themes from the show in there, from Zelda, and it's one of my prized possessions. It is absolutely it cheers me no end.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
this is beautiful.
It's absolutely beautiful.
So, are there other things from fans that you've absolutely loved, or things that they just touched you in a certain way?
Well, yes, actually, the iPad cover, Emanuela created it for me. It she used symbology from the game, from Zelda, and spelled out AC/DC because she knew that I loved to listen to Back in Black before every single show. And another actually one of the journalists that we speak to, Julius Vajero, sent me the Hyrule Historia, and that's really special to me because it was given to me by someone else. But I've had lots of fans give me lots of things, and they all mean the world to me because that tells me that that we're traveling a lot, we're schlepping around a lot, but always it's the fans, it's the audience that makes it worthwhile, and the orchestras for me. And when things like that happen, little gifts, it means that we're doing something right. We're helping. I always feel like a performer's job is to take hardworking people out of their everyday and bring them on a fantasy ride. Make everything that's a problem just go away, and remind everybody that human beings are capable of great things through art, and we can all go on that journey together, and that's our job. Take people out of the everyday and elevate.
Well, we're just about out of time. Are there any words you have for the fans out there who are coming to see Second Quest in the coming weeks?
Oh, just do what you feel like. I love the way the Zelda fans treat the orchestra so much. If you feel like yelling and screaming, do it. Please come and cosplay. We love it. Bring your street passes going crazy. Everybody's doing it. Enjoy it. The Second Quest is a second adventure, and we're really into it. We're on the adventure. Come with us.
Well, thank you, Emer, for giving us your time again.
You're welcome, Christian.
I'm Christian Ponte for the Tanooki, and we'll catch you guys later.